Hey guys, welcome back. I've tried this a couple times, it hasn't worked, so we're going to do this a different way. I have sitting on my desk, I will not show you, and I will not mention the title, so don't ask, the worst book ever written on fairies. And I can tell you it's the worst book written on fairies because I was looking through it last night, because I got it out, and I had it from when I was a witchlet, and I'm like, how didn't I kill myself? How didn't I kill myself 1,000 times doing some of this stuff? Because at the time, thought we had a knocker, thought we had a something else, thought we had this, thought we had that, and this is such a terrible field guide, so to speak, to fairies that, it could have been written in the Potter universe and it would make more sense. And there's a very unfortunate entry for pukas. And it let me totally dismiss the book as bad research because, it's like when I open up a Norse book and the only thing they can say about Loki is he's an evil git, that shows me they don't bother doing research. Or they do research to pander to the gods they like and earn afterlife brownie points, and that does nothing at all with the gods. So I can dismiss this. Also, like Santa Claus is a fairy, so there you go. There's the grand research for you. He's an elf. Oh my god. And, at one time you could put anything you wanted in a magic book and people would say, oh, this is true. And now people are like, wait, we have YouTube, we have, Facebook, we have all these societies, we have documentaries. You can't just get away with that now, but you could get away with it at the time because you didn't have as much people who actually wanted to bother to get the old, stories from Ireland and read them and speak to people that had had encounters and stuff like that. So it's really bad, but it's kind of laughable. I only have it now, and I haven't burnt it because, one, I don't burn books, and two, because it gives you alternate spelling. So if you're going to do some research, it might be semi-useful for that, but it's kind of like having Minecraft as a research resource. It's like a really terrible idea at the end. So, it's like, I wish the author had actually done some actual ding-dang research. It seems like all they did was, go through 40 or 50 books, tear out the parts they liked, shove them all together, and, that made them God. Like, they insist, and I've seen other people say this, that pukas really aren't Irish, they're Norse, and they snuck into Ireland somehow. I don't even know where to go with that. And it's like, okay. And the description is horrible, and the activities described as absolute nightmare fuel, and it's like, holy crap. So, of course, I had the mother and father of all nightmares last night. Of course I did. And it wasn't because I read the book and it scared me, boo. It was like, because anytime I would read these old books, I would notice I would have vivid nightmares that night. And I think it comes from, it just taps into that part of you, and it taps into that part of insulting the good folk that, they get very, you can kind of feel their distress, because I could feel how distressed the pukas were. And the one is, like, absolutely gone, and the other one's now, like, appearing as a fictional character I wrote, which is, like, part of how he made his way back, long story. And, he's upset. They're both upset. And it's like, in a way, I'd like to just throw the book out, because I can always write down the alternate spellings and have them. And, I think that might be actually a good alternative, because it's okay as a reference book to have a bunch of fairy names, but at the same time it's dangerous because you don't know which is actual research and you don't know which is something that would get you killed, because I'm not going to say good and evil with fairies, but I'm going to say those who like people and those who'd rather not be bothered. In Ireland, if you listen to the stories of the older people, it's, they make good neighbors as long as you mind your own knitting. You don't go paying a call on the local ferry. I mean, maybe children take them gifts and the like, and maybe people that love them take them gifts, but by and large, you don't go calling on them like you call on your neighbor if people still do that. And so it's really poorly written, and the Pukas are upset. And Loki offered to burn it to ash, and I said he could totally go ahead and do that, but the book remains. And it's one of those books that, like, you don't even like the energy from it. It's kind of like Christo Wicca, and I'm not saying that to insult Christian witches. You can't take a group of beings like the Fae and try to classify them as good and evil. It's just, they do what they do. They were here before us, they'll be here after us. Um, and to just kind of categorize them as, the nice little dainty Victorian fairies that make me want to puke. And actual fairies, because it seems to be the actual difference in the book, though anything that they can make cute and sweet and Victorian, that BS they like. And any actual fairies that act like fairies from Ireland, they think they're gonna all kill you. And it's like, no, that's how they act. That's how we would act if somebody came into our house and took our things. We'd be grabbing the shotgun and going after them. So don't say when a fairy does it that it's, this terrible thing. It's actually like really disrespectful because, if the fairies are out trooping or whatever, and you believe in that, and you believe they're out trooping, don't go bother them. Why are you going to run up to the royal court? It'd be like running up to the Queen's Guard being very, very exceptionally offended when they, repel you from the Queen. Of course they are. So, I would not recommend it. If you manage to see it, I don't recommend it. You're better off, honestly, reading online, watching videos, having your own tentative experiences, and going by your own best judgment. If something feels bad, you don't have to work with it. If you're just uncomfortable with the energy, that's one thing. But if something truly feels horrible, you don't have to work with it. You don't have to, keep it around you. Just like this book is really horrible, and there's really no reason for me to hold on to it to be the witch who dies with the most witchy books. And I would not give it to the library because I would not want some young witchlet to see this and try to do this stuff and, end up with something terrible in their house because, they didn't get a fairy at all. They got a something or other and they don't know how to do anything because you can't control a fairy. That's total nonsense right there. You can't control them. The Pukas around here behave because they feel like it, because they love me and they care about me, and because they're my family. They don't behave because I'm some grand masterful witch. Yeah, don't like that book. So there's your review. But yeah, I will take extra good care of Harvey, and I will take extra good care of Loki, and I will take extra good care of the brother. And they're wanting some attention today, which is in their right because that's terrible. It would be just like if as the one described it to me, well, what if you read a book written by fairies and said all these mean things about humans? I'm like, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So they don't like it at all, and I don't blame them. Nothing will make people actually turn bad on you faster than saying they're bad. I forget what it comes from, but I think it's Narnia about if you treat someone like an animal long enough, they'll turn into one because, the kids are like, why did everybody go from being able to talk to savage beasts? And that's why if you treat fairies as malicious and evil long enough, you'll get to see something. So, this is not the fairy channel, but I just wanted to talk about that because I felt bad for the boys. I felt bad for Loki too because, they're like his children. He loves those too. And so I just figured I would talk about that because, being Lokeans, we're used to seeing Loki portrayed as evil and, vengeful and dangerous and everything else. And it's the same thing. So if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.